Welcome back, Legal Eagles. Buckle up, because today's docket is an absolute roller coaster of bad decisions, massive rap sheets, and a judge who has officially run out of patience. In this video, we are looking at three very different defendants who all share one thing in common. They think they can outsmart the system. First up, we have a young man facing his 14th theft case. Yes, you heard that right, 14, while his 18-year-old girlfriend stands by his side, completely oblivious to the red flags waving in her face. You're going to see the judge try a frantic, last-ditch effort to save this kid from himself by ordering him to a job fair. But will it work? Later, we have a woman whose criminal history is so long it takes the judge nearly 2 minutes just to read the dates, spanning back to 1999. And finally, stick around for the end, because we have a defendant with a serious attitude problem who demands a free lawyer, leading to one of the most unexpected motivational speeches involving Chick-fil-A that I have ever heard in a courtroom. The catch and release era is over in this courtroom, and the lecture is in session. Let's get into the madness.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
18? Who do you live with?
I have my own apartment.
How? I could barely walk when I was 18. Tell me about yourself. What do you do?
I just graduated college. I only have my associate's degree. I was going to Blinn College.
Wow, that's amazing. Great job.
Thank you. I got my first apartment in June, and I live on Belfair Pines, Kane Street. And I work from home from there.
So you do have an income?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. You're aware of Mr. Waters?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys together?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been together?
For like 3 years.
3 years? Okay, so you know him well.
Okay, let's pause for a second and look at the dynamic here. We have an 18-year-old young woman who claims she's been with the defendant for 3 years, meaning they started dating when she was 15. She's standing there, polite, employed, with her own apartment, essentially vouching for a guy who is a career thief. This is a classic courtroom tragedy in the making. The judge is trying to assess if she is a stable third-party custodian, or if she's just an enabler who is about to get dragged down by his anchor. Legally, the judge is looking for a nexus of stability. If he releases Mr. Waters, he needs to know there is a responsible adult watching him. But the irony here is palpable. The responsible adult is a teenager who just graduated with her associate's degree, while the defendant is dragging a mountain of legal baggage into her living room. I have to ask you guys, if you were this judge, would you trust an 18-year-old to supervise a man with over a dozen criminal charges? Or is this setting her up for failure? Let me know in the comments.
Yes,
Okay. My only concern is that he's picked up quite a number of charges. So I just want you to be careful.
yes.
Are you okay if he stays with you? Okay. That was my concern. And I was telling Jillian here, my concern is that he's got a lot of history and a lot of just nonsense. And I don't want him to pick up any more cases. So before we let him out, I want to know that he's got a stable home that he's going to go to. I'm going to put conditions on him so he's not out in the middle of the night, right? I don't want him to go to any of these other stores that he's ever been to for any of these thefts. And no dope, no alcohol. And that's it. Stay out of trouble. Do you mind bringing Mr. Waters in? Thank you so much for coming. You're doing great. Just keep it up.
Yeah.
Really.
Bye.
Sorry.
I am.
Okay. Wonderful. It's a lot of work and it gets stressful. So be careful. If you take care of that baby well, that baby will take care of you. You got to be careful with who are you around, what they're doing, because if there are other people that are smoking marijuana, it could affect that baby. And the problem is that baby is constantly growing and it needs love. It needs attention. It needs prenatal vitamins, because if you don't take care of that baby well, you will or could have, the baby will have developmental issues, and then you're a lifelong babysitter, and we don't want that. So if you take care of the baby well,
Yes, sir.
one day they'll take care of it.
Okay.
Wow, that was incredibly heavy and, frankly, necessary. The judge just delivered what I call the lifelong babysitter speech. He isn't just talking about bail conditions here. He is giving a terrifying biological warning about the effects of marijuana and stress on fetal development. This goes beyond the law and straight into life advice. He's explicitly telling her that if she doesn't protect herself and that baby from the chaos this boyfriend brings, she is sentencing herself to a lifetime of caretaking for a child with developmental issues. It's rare to see a judge get this personal, but he clearly sees a disaster looming. He's trying to shock her into reality. Notice how he emphasizes that the baby needs prenatal vitamins and needs love, contrasting that with the boyfriend's history of dope and nonsense. He's trying to empower her to be the gatekeeper of her own home. But the question remains, is she listening? Or is she just nodding along so she can get her boyfriend back? The emotional stakes just went through the roof.
Is there anything else that we need to address?
No, Your Honor. I don't think so. Are we waiting for Mr. Waters to come out? What sure if you were? Did you say
Bringing him out.
you bringing him out? Okay, that's
I want to admonish him that, especially with the baby on the way, he's got to be careful. No dope. Like, I'm going to test him like crazy. Anna, you saw the DVR?
I saw that you want to talk to him, but I haven't seen the actual video.
Okay, I can print it out for you now.
Okay.
Okay, that's for you. So you okay with Friday then? Okay.
Just to be clear, yesterday I asked that his bond be reinstated. I'm not sure what your decision is today for Josh Services to clarify. Reinstate.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Waters, how's jail? Good. You know, Mr. Waters, I want you to understand that we mean business. The days of catch and release, they're over. We're not going to play this game. And I'm not going to allow you to taint anyone else near you with your 15 theft cases that you have, or 20 or 32. No.
Wow, that was incredibly heavy and, frankly, necessary. The judge just delivered what I call the lifelong babysitter speech. He isn't just talking about bail conditions here. He is giving a terrifying biological warning about the effects of marijuana and stress on fetal development. This goes beyond the law and straight into life advice. He's explicitly telling her that if she doesn't protect herself and that baby from the chaos this boyfriend brings, she is sentencing herself to a lifetime of caretaking for a child with developmental issues. It's rare to see a judge get this personal, but he clearly sees a disaster looming. He's trying to shock her into reality. Notice how he emphasizes that the baby needs prenatal vitamins and needs love, contrasting that with the boyfriend's history of dope and nonsense. He's trying to empower her to be the gatekeeper of her own home. But the question remains, is she listening? Or is she just nodding along so she can get her boyfriend back? The emotional stakes just went through the roof.
If you want me to let you out, you will have strict supervision, meaning no dope, no alcohol, and I'm going to test you like crazy. No going out in the middle of the night, no going to any of the places where you have your prior theft cases from, and most importantly, you need to get a job. There is a career fair, and we're going to give you a flyer, and I want you to meet me there, so we're going to try to get you a job. Do you understand? That's the rub. And you smoke dope, it's over. No marijuana. And I'm going to test you 40 days or whatever from the last time. Has he tested? Do you know?
I'm not sure, Judge.
Rachel, has Mr. Waters tested before?
I think he did.
And do you have any more children, Mr. Waters?
No, sir.
Okay, look, you have a baby on the way. You need to treat that baby well, because if you don't, you are begging for a lifelong problem with a kid that will have developmental issues. And then you have a kid like that, you are a literal babysitter for the rest of your life, taking care of a baby that can't do things on their own. Don't smoke any weed next to the baby. Don't do, because anything you do can potentially affect the baby. So you need to be careful what you're doing. You need to support her because, she's going through changes. She's going to have a ton of hormones. The hormones are going to make her upset. They're going to make her feet swell. She's going to be cranky. She might have back issues. You need to be there to support her because if you're there to support her, show love, respect, it will make the baby feel it as well. Anything you do could potentially impact that baby. You need to consider that when you're out there. If you're stressed out because you got no money or something, just think of the baby. Any prior test? Okay. You will be drug tested 40 days from today.
The judge is putting Mr. Waters in a veritable straitjacket of conditions here. No going out at night, no going to the stores he steals from, and mandatory drug testing in 40 days. Why 40 days? Because marijuana can stay in your system for about 30 days depending on usage, so the judge is giving him a washout period. If he tests positive after 40 days, there is no excuse. It means he's still using. But notice the emotional manipulation the judge is using regarding the pregnancy. He's telling the defendant that his stress, his drug use, and his lack of income are directly harming the unborn child. He's trying to find something that this guy cares about more than stealing. It's a psychological tactic. If the threat of jail doesn't stop him, and with 30-plus cases it clearly hasn't, maybe the guilt of harming his own child will. It's a desperate move by the court to change this guy's behavior. Do you think it will work? Or is a thief always a thief?
If you drug test and you test positive for marijuana, that tells me that you continue to smoke. And there's only one place you're going to go. You're now working your third case. Jillian is asking me to reinstate your bond.
Okay.
I very, very reluctantly, meaning that I'm scared to do so, but I'm going to today to give you the benefit of the doubt. But it's not going to happen again. If you go to jail, it's because you didn't listen, you picked up a new case, or you're doing something you shouldn't do. And I don't care if Jillian has 15 of your family members here begging and pleading. It's not going to happen again. Do you understand? No marijuana, no alcohol, no going out in the middle of the night and get a job. All I'm asking you to do is be a normal person. That's it. Give me questions. I'm giving you an ankle monitor so I know where you are at all times. You can, but I'm not letting you out in the middle of the night. I'm giving you a curfew. So Jillian, we can talk about, maybe 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. She's welcoming you to her house. It's not your house. So if she tells you something to do, you look at me. If she tells you something to do, it is her house. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Because when you burn a bridge, you never know when you might need to cross that bridge. And if you don't have her taking you in, you're on the street. And if you're on the street, you're with me. So be nice. Okay, I'll reinstate it.
Thank you, Judge.
But he needs a GPS prior to release for the curfew of either 9 to 10, whatever it is. And then I'm giving him 2 weeks to either get a job and bring proof. If he doesn't, then he's to meet me at the job fair at the Fresh Start, and we're going to find him a job there.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll be there and he'll meet me there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay? I'm really unhappy with you, Mr. Waters. When does it stop? 14 theft cases you have in your background. You're now charged with your 14th theft case.
14 cases. The judge just reiterated it. 14 current or recent theft cases. We need to talk about the financial strain this puts on the system. Each one of those cases requires police reports, processing, a public defender, a prosecutor, and court time. We are talking tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on one guy who refuses to stop stealing from the same places. The defense attorney is doing her best. But what can you really say? When a client has a double-digit rap sheet for the same specific crime, the presumption of innocence is legally there, but the presumption of trustworthiness is gone. The judge is visibly frustrated because the system feels broken. They keep arresting him, he keeps getting out, and he keeps stealing. This is the definition of a revolving door justice system. The judge asking, "How old are you?" and hearing 21 is tragic. He's barely an adult, and he already has a career criminal's record.
14. How old are you? You're 21 and you have 13 prior theft cases?
Order in
see
the court.
Jillian, I see that a lot of them are like kind of bunched up. There's like at least 2 different patterns of 4 theft cases that are all together. I don't know what that's about. I mean, I haven't done a deep enough dive into his cases, but what's going on now is that your lawyer wants me to give you a PR bond. I know that you're asking me, please, but the problem is, though, is if we let you out, are you going to pick up a 4th case, perhaps a 15th theft case? I know that you're going to tell me little bunnies jumping in the woods, that of course it's not going to happen. I'm going to have a halo. I know that's what you're going to tell me.
I've been harassed. Look, I got numbers, I got witnesses.
So, Your Honor, what he's trying to say is that he understands that all of these pending cases involve the same gas station, the same officers. And we'll be looking into the contact that's made between him and those officers in all those cases. But he has been out of trouble, with the exception of what happens on this property. And even, like I said, even the PC with this theft case, it's not in this court, but it's shaky in my opinion. And also the evading as well, Judge, that I was originally on. He's backing up from the officers. He's walking slowly. When the other officers get there, he's still at the location. He didn't evade, I would argue. But it met PC, and so we're gonna fight that. But it's not an evading where he just took off running.
13 prior theft cases. Who do you have in your life that's out to help you?
I got my girl, I got my baby mama. I got a baby on the way, and I've been staying out the way.
Oh my Lord, you have a baby on the way.
I've been staying out the way, I promise you.
Did you catch that? I got a baby on the way. I've been staying out the way. The classic courtroom rhyme. It's almost a reflex for defendants to use their unborn children as a shield against incarceration. But here is the contradiction. If you knew you had a baby on the way, why did you pick up your 13th and 14th theft case? This is where the hypocrisy meter goes off the charts. He claims he wants to be a father, but his actions scream that he wants fast money and no responsibility. The judge isn't buying the I Promise Act because he's heard it 14 times before. It's a tough spot for the court. You don't want a child born with a father in jail, but you also can't let a serial thief roam free just because he procreated. It's a moral dilemma wrapped in a legal nightmare.
Mr. Waters is expecting his very first child. Him and the mother are together. She's very supportive. She was here last week when he was initially arrested. So they're working together
Let me
to
ask you this.
create a life for their
Do you
family.
want your baby to be like you?
I don't even want to be like my dad. I promise.
Where's your dad?
I don't know. Somewhere in Katy. Been on my own side, I was 12. I've been home, I understand about them deaths, what I used to do back then, but that's not going
All
on.
these are from 23 and 24. What do you mean back then?
This ain't been going on though, like just ever since I came home, when you gave me the PR, I ain't been doing none of that no more. I just been staying out the way. And these same officers just keep on harassing me, jumping out on me, and I can't even go to the store to get
you
it.
have the same officers that keep listen out when you're trying to think of something to say, you're not listening. If you know that you have the same officers that are coming after you over and over and over, yet you continue to go back to the same gas station over.
This is actually hilarious in a sad way. The defendant claims the police are harassing him. The judge immediately shuts that down with pure logic. If you know the same officers are watching you, why do you keep going back to the same gas station to steal? It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Legally, the defense attorney is trying to argue that the probable cause, PC, for the arrest was shaky, claiming he wasn't really evading, just walking slowly backward. That's a weak argument when you have a client with this much history. The judge points out the obvious. You are targeting a specific location, and the cops know who you are. He's not being harassed, he's being caught. There is a big difference. I want to know, do you buy his story that the cops are just picking on him?
And over. Jillian,
Judge, I mean, I'm sure it's probably a condition of his felony, but a condition can definitely be that he has to stay away from the gas station. That seems to be his only, like, the only thing I see that he has done is that he either lives around there or he continues to believe that because they sell him things that he doesn't have any issues, that maybe he is or is not allowed, we don't know, to be there. To his knowledge, he is allowed. But that seems to be the only thing he's done wrong since I've represented him.
what I'd like to do, number one, is I would like to compile a list of every theft case that he has, every single place that he's picked up a theft case from. Number two, I want to know where he's going to go. I'm not taking your word where you're going. I want to know, and I want to talk to them myself where you're going to go. So I want to know. And just your baby mama, I don't know.
I got numbers right
Okay,
now.
we'll get there, but I'm not letting you out to roam the streets.
I'm not
because-
roaming no more. I got somewhere to stay. I'm not roaming.
We'll get his address and
And
have
I
him.
want to know every single theft case here. Where are they from? Why? Okay. And then if he has nowhere to go, I want to reach out to the MAC and see what we can do to provide him. And you need to start working. You have way too much time on your hands, and you are the epitome of self-destructive behavior. You need something to do with your life, Mr. Waters. You need to get a job. So this is what we're going to do. And we have a job fair that's coming up. Hold on a second.
November 9th.
Is that the Fresh Start? Yeah. Can you make him a copy? So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to let him out now, but first thing I want to know is I want to know where he's going to go when he gets out. Number one. Number two, I want to compile a list of all the theft cases, where they're from. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a monitor on him. And then number three, he's going to meet me at the Fresh Start because we're going to get his ass a job. A full-time job. I'm going to be at that Fresh Start fair, and I expect you to be there because you and me are going to get you a job one way or the other somehow. I'm going to be working that thing, and I'm going to expect you to show up to that thing at 9 in the morning when it starts, if I let you out. I haven't decided yet. That's where we're at. Okay?
Thanks, Judge.
Thanks.
Here is the twist. The judge is getting creative. Instead of just throwing him in a cell, he is mandating that the defendant attend a Fresh Start career fair. He is literally saying, I will meet you there and we are going to get your ass a job. This is an incredible example of judicial intervention. This judge is trying to solve the root cause of the theft, which is poverty and idleness, rather than just punishing the symptom. He is combining a stick, the ankle monitor and house arrest, with a carrot, the job fair. It's a holistic approach to justice. If Mr. Waters actually shows up and gets a job, this judge might have just saved his life and his family. If he doesn't show up, he goes to jail. It's a put up or shut up moment. This is what the justice system should look like, offering a path out, but with strict accountability. Kudos to this judge for going the extra mile.
Thank you.
It's off docket matter. I want to do a question about bond conditions. Do we have to have the client here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, you. For sure.
Thank you.
Dan,
Yes, sir. I have a plea judge, but I don't know if it's ready.
I'm ready when you are. What happened? No?
Didn't work out, Judge. So
Okay.
he's young and I asked for deferred and I was offered deferred.
Okay, come on, let's do it.
There it is.
Oh, do you need a translator?
No, sir.
Again?
Again,
There are some people that I see over and over and over and over. Miss Cambrick, since 1999. Deadly conduct, 99. Failure to stop and render aid, 2002. Failure to identify as a fugitive from justice. Now let's get into 2000s. 2004, theft. 2004, theft. 2005, felony theft. 2005, theft. 2005, theft. 2006, theft from a person, felony theft from a person. Possession of a controlled substance, 2007, possession of a controlled substance, 2007. And 2008, theft. 2009, possession of a controlled substance, 2010, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance. 2012, theft, assault, theft. 16, 17, 18. Now, 2019, theft. 2020, theft. 2021, theft. 2021, theft. 2021, criminal trespass. 2021, theft. 2022, theft. 2022, criminal trespass. 2022, theft. 22, theft. 22, theft. 24, theft. 23, theft. 23, theft. And now, another.
Oh my goodness. Did you hear that list? That took almost 2 full minutes to read. Ms. Camry has been racking up charges since 1999. Deadly conduct, failure to ID, drug possession, assault, and about 20 different theft charges. She is a walking, talking criminal history database. This brings up the concept of habitual offender status. In many states, once you hit a certain number of felonies or thefts, the penalties skyrocket. The fact that she is still out here picking up misdemeanor theft charges in 2024 shows a massive failure in rehabilitation. She has spent 25 years in the system. At this point, the judge sounds exhausted just reading the file. When you see a rap sheet this long, you have to wonder, is prison even a deterrent for her anymore? Or is it just the cost of doing business? This is a sad look at a life completely consumed by the criminal justice system.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Officers responded to a theft of business at a Walmart in Harris County, Texas. Officers made contact with the complainant, the loss prevention associate, who stated on August 28th he contacted officers about a shoplifting, but no officer responded to take the report at that time. The complainant showed the officer the surveillance video, and the officer observed the defendant select a blue tote, walk towards the automotive section, look around to see if anyone was observing her actions, and select multiple Benzol motor oil cords off the shelf and conceal them in the tote. The defendant was then observed walking towards the health and beauty section and exiting through an emergency fire door without attempt to pay for the tote or the concealed oil.
How much the value?
Let me check the OR, Your Honor. It's not in the DIMS.
And I'm guessing because they know it's going to be reduced to a misdemeanor, they just now file it as misdemeanors, Michael, instead of a felony?
I'm sorry, what's the question, Judge?
Do they hence assume intake that it's going to be reduced to a misdemeanor as to why they filed it as a misdemeanor?
You know what, Judge, this has been happening a lot and I'm not sure why. I think honestly, a lot of it is negligence into not looking at what their criminal history is before they file the charge. Quite honestly, because I see it a lot and I don't think there's any policy for it.
Here is a fascinating legal nugget. The defense attorney is asking why this was filed as a misdemeanor instead of a felony. Usually, theft is a misdemeanor if the value is low, under a certain dollar amount, like $100 or $750 depending on the state. However, if you have prior theft convictions, prosecutors can enhance the charge to a felony, even for a stick of gum. The defense is pointing out that the district attorney's office seems to be asleep at the wheel, filing these as misdemeanors likely because they didn't check her massive criminal history first. The judge agrees, calling it negligence. This is a huge break for the defendant. She should be facing years in prison for a felony enhancement, but because of a paperwork screw-up, she's facing a slap on the wrist for a misdemeanor. It's a lucky break for her, but a frustrating moment for the court.
And Your Honor, the total is $98.
Amber, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system, and you're to come right back, and then we will discuss where we go from here. I'm going to put a GPS monitor on you, and I'm forbidding you from going to any store that you have a prior contact with in a theft case. Do you understand? And if I find that you have any contact with any of these stores, I'm going to make your bond so high your teeth are going to fall out. Do you understand?
Sir.
Catch and release days are over. No more catch and release. We are going to get to the bottom of why this continues to happen. And if that means some kind of treatment facility with a dual diagnosis residential program, then hey, but now you're working what? 30 thefts? Stops today. First things first, I'm sending you for a drug test. You must come right back. And if you fail to come back, if you fail to take the drug test, your bond will hit the skyline. You understand? We need to do a deep dive, Alex, into every single store that theft, that all those thefts come from. And just, I mean,
Foster?
I know, if we can just forbid from going to any and all retail stores in Harris County, I mean, just,
Yes, Judge, if you would like, we can create a list.
yeah, I'd like to do a dive into every single theft she's done and
Yes, Judge.
Okay, have a seat in the dirty box store. Going right that way. Go have a seat over there.
Foster?
you're Tristan Foster.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Foster, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 1st, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop for a vehicle with no front license plate in Harris County, Texas. The officers made contact with the defendant, the driver of the vehicle, and observed an odor of marijuana. A search was conducted and officers observed a black plastic bag under the front passenger seat containing marijuana and drug paraphernalia, such as a weight scale, a bong pipe, and multiple small bags. The officers also found marijuana grinder in the trunk of the vehicle. Marijuana was identified based on training experience and had a weight of 65.9 grams.
Mr. Foster, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
For going to traffic stop, I found out that it was suspended.
I want to impart something to you that I am making it a bond condition for you now that you're not to drive any vehicle for any reason. I don't care what your reason is. If I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I don't care if there's a burning building or Mother Teresa needs to go to church. You get into a car and drive, there's going to be HE double hockey sticks to pay. Do you understand? What do you do for a living, Mr. Foster?
Sir,
What do you do for a living?
I do for a living, landscaping.
We're going to reset your case, give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. After that,
Can I file out for an attorney from the state?
why?
So I don't have money for a lawyer.
How do you know?
Enter defendant number 3, Mr. Tristan Foster. He's charged with possession and driving on a suspended license. He immediately pulls the "I'm broke. Give me a free lawyer" card. This is called requesting an indigent defense. But the judge isn't buying it. Why? Because this guy has a history of carrying weapons and drug charges, yet implies he's taking care of his family. The judge calls out his arrogance. There is a specific vibe shift here. The previous defendants were desperate. This guy seems entitled. He's smirking. He's driving around with a suspended license, weed, a bong, and a scale, and he expects the taxpayers to foot his legal bill. The judge is challenging him to take responsibility. If you have money for weed and a car, the court often argues you have money for a lawyer. Watch how the judge pivots from annoyance to estranged. motivational lecture in the next clip.
How do you know?
Well, it's not my first time, dealing with lawyers, and I just don't have that kind of money right now.
2018, unlawful carrying of a weapon. 2019, criminal mischief. 2018, assault of a family member. 2019, assault of a family member. 2021, criminal trespass. 2022, unlawful carrying of a weapon. 22, felony possession of marijuana. And now you've gotten another possession of marijuana. In all of those cases, how many times have you gotten a court-appointed lawyer? Yeah, right. I want you now to go looking, and I want you to get a full-time job. And I am now making that a condition of your bond as well. The days of you sitting at Xbox, playing Xbox all day, smoking dope all day, doing nothing are over. I am making it a condition of your bond that you get a full. You've got that smirk on you, and I'm going to tell you now, it's not going to go well if you try to play with me. Do you understand?
I don't need to go spend my money when I'm taking care of my family to get a lawyer on a case that, you know what I mean?
No. I want you to go start looking for lawyers.
Okay.
And I want you to start Googling Harris County lawyers. There's a gajillion and one of them. Mr. Foster.
Yeah, they calling my line. They sending paper through the mail. Y'all know.
Okay. Start calling those and finding one you can afford.
Okay.
You pick up a new case. You start driving. I'm telling you now, I'm going to revoke your bond and I'll make it sky high. Do you understand?
I understand.
I'll tell you this though, Mr. Foster, you look like you have a lot of arrogance to you. If you put that arrogance into working really hard, holy moly, you could command the entire world. I know people who started as a freaking dishwasher at Chick-fil-A and they worked their ass off. Now owns two of them making 400 GER a year. That's hundreds of thousands every month that he's raking in because he put his chutzpah into working and his heart into working his ass off. And now, dude, he's killing it. And people thought he was a joke working at Chick-fil-A. And dude's he's the American dream. That's what it's about. Not this, not what you're trying to sell. Don't. Put your heart, soul into it. You can do anything. That's what makes this place so great.
Just wait, sir.
So is that pretrial bond condition?
And there you have it, the Chick-fil-A defense. I did not see that coming. The judge went from threatening to revoke his bond to telling him he could be a millionaire franchise owner if he just stopped smoking weed and worked hard. It's bizarre, but it's also kind of wholesome. This judge clearly wants these people to succeed, even if he has to drag them kicking and screaming toward a better life. To recap, we had the serial thief getting a job fair ultimatum, the career criminal with a 25-year rap sheet catching a lucky break, and the arrogant stoner getting a motivational speech about chicken sandwiches. Justice is truly unpredictable. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. See you in the next trial.